In a dramatic move that has left shockwaves coursing through South Africa, police allegedly stormed the home of Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, leader Julius Malema last night. The dramatic move came just hours after a bombshell revelation by Nathi Mthethwa's widow, who claimed Malema was involved in issues related to her late husband's suspicious and controversial death. Based on several insider accounts, the raid kicked off at the crack of dawn when a police motorcade swept down on Malema's opulent mansion, waking up the typically serene neighborhood. Witnesses described an intense and frenzied ambience as police officers in full tactical uniform moved into the property, their strobing lights piercing the early morning gloom. Neighbors heard loud shouts, frantic movements, and the unmistakable sound of forced entry through doors. For local residents, terror and incredulity soon set in as the raid escalated and its high-profile target became obvious. The roots of this sudden probe date back to Nathi Mthethwa's fatal death, an incident shrouded in mystery, rumor, and suspicion of foul play. Mrs. Mthethwa's testimony, apparently made last week to the authorities, intimated a potential link between the death of her husband and some powerful political leaders. While authorities have not issued complete accounts of what she said, sources indicate she named Malema in particular, which ushered in instant speculation regarding potential corruption, conspiracy, or even politically motivated violence. Law enforcement sources revealed that investigators were searching for electronic evidence, laptops, hard drives, phones, and encrypted messages, as well as financial records that could help unravel the authentic nature of the egregious allegations. A high-ranking police officer, who wished to remain anonymous, stated that the authorities were pursuing every possible lead and taking all witness statements, including Mrs. Mthethwa's, with the utmost seriousness. The officer continued forcefully, "Nobody is above the law." Witnesses on the scene said officers painstakingly searched every corner of Malema's house, photographing and documenting the evidence before taking away several sealed packages containing documents and electronic items. The contents of these boxes remain secret, but political commentators speculate that they could hold vital material, perhaps communications or transactions, that might illuminate Malema's potential role in the series of events leading up to his death. Social media sites flooded with comments and speculation within minutes of the news going public. Hashtags such as #MalemaRaid, #DOASay, and #JusticeForNathi began trending on X, formerly Twitter, saturating the internet. South Africans overwhelmed timelines with anger, shock, and incredulity, seeking explanations. Malema's supporters termed the raid a political vendetta by his rivals, alleging it was intended to discredit him before elections. His detractors, on the contrary, rejoiced at the action, calling it a step long overdue toward accountability and transparency. Well-known journalists, activists, and political analysts cautioned that the impact of this probe could spread far beyond one man and possibly redraw the boundaries of South Africa's politics. Some analysts have already begun discussing what this might portend for the nation. If the probe delivers credible evidence of criminal behavior, it may result not only in prosecution for Malema but also in a political earthquake that alters South Africa's balance of power. Alternatively, if no malfeasance is found, the raid could reinforce Malema's power base by fueling rumors of political persecution, a claim he has made for years. Other analysts, however, called for restraint, reminding the public that police raids are standard investigative practices and do not automatically indicate guilt. Nevertheless, the timing and magnitude of this specific operation have rendered it impossible to ignore. Adding to the mystery, neighbors and security personnel reported strange activity at Malema's residence in the days leading up to the raid. Some reported seeing unknown faces coming and going at odd hours, while others noticed a heightened security presence and abrupt changes to his personal detail. Whether these steps were in anticipation of the impending investigation or purely coincidental remains unclear, but the reports have done little to stem speculation. The mood around Malema's home in the wake of the raid has turned into one of blistering media attention, with reporters camping outside and helicopters hovering overhead to film the unfolding political tempest. The timing of these theatrics has shocked both sides of the political divide. Nathi's death, already a highly controversial and sensitive issue, has reignited fierce debate across several parties. Mrs. D's new claims seem to have directly triggered investigators to move quickly and forcefully. Her accusations have opened up the possibility that other high-level political leaders may also become involved in the widening probe. Legal analysts now expect that the documents seized from Malema's estate may hold the key to whether charges will be filed. They also caution that the next few weeks could bring further raids, public hearings, or even legal battles involving other top figures. In the meantime, the country remains gripped by suspense as officials thoroughly examine the seized materials. The public is polarized. For some, the raid is a courageous move toward justice and the unmasking of political corruption. For others, it is yet another sign of deepening divisions and the power struggle within South Africa's leadership. From townships to cities to rural districts, everyone is talking about the raid. Radio hosts, television commentators, and online pundits continue to dissect every rumor and unconfirmed report, with millions following the case in real time. Amid the furor, Julius Malema himself has remained conspicuously silent. Neither he nor his legal team has made any official statements since the raid, a silence that has only fueled further public intrigue. Those close to the EFF leader indicate he is meeting with his lawyers and closest advisors before addressing the public. Still, speculation abounds. Some believe he is preparing to speak directly to the nation, while others interpret his silence as fear or uncertainty. The EFF has urged its followers to remain calm and allow due process to unfold. While several party members have condemned the raid as political intimidation, observers note that this episode could mark a defining moment not only for Malema but for South Africa as a whole. Depending on how events unfold, it could reshape alliances, strain coalitions, and redefine public trust in law enforcement and political leadership. It may also influence the upcoming elections, as voters weigh integrity, accountability, and justice against perceptions of manipulation and political bias. For ordinary citizens, the case feels deeply personal, a test of whether those in power can be held to the same standards as everyone else. Cafe conversations, office talk, and taxi ride discussions all echo a mix of anger, fatigue, and guarded hope. Some hold on to the belief that the truth, whatever it may be, will finally emerge, while others warn it could all end as yet another unsolved scandal. The responsibility now lies with investigative teams to sift through heaps of data and documents in search of evidence that could make sense of this tangled web of accusations and denials. As the dust settles, one thing is certain: this unprecedented raid has already left an indelible mark on South Africa's political history. Whether it uncovers corruption or bolsters claims of persecution, it will be remembered as a turning point that forces the nation to confront difficult questions about power, loyalty, and justice. Regulators are expected to issue statements in the coming days, possibly indicating whether arrests or charges will follow. For now, South Africans remain enthralled by this cat-and-mouse drama, following every twist with bated breath as one of the nation's most powerful and divisive political figures faces the most intense scrutiny of his life.